All right, thanks everybody for being here. Let's go ahead and get started. We're doing our outdoor soccer. I heard you guys talking about indoor soccer. Outdoor soccer captain's meeting for intramural sports. Really happy to see y'all here. We'll be about 30 minutes probably here, and we're just going to talk soccer as it relates to intramural sports. Before we get started, we're going to do introductions. So I'm Dan Payne. I'm the competitive sports coordinator, so I oversee our intramural sports program, our club sports program, and our 2 outdoor facilities that we play at. And a few other things. I will turn it over to Tyler. Introduce yourself and get started.
I'm Tyler Lowe. I'm our graduate assistant here for competitive sports, focused on intramural sports. So with Dan supervision, we basically run the intramural sports department. And I'm getting my sports management master's degree here. So I just want to say thank y'all for coming out here tonight. I know y'all have busy schedules, and I just appreciate y'all coming out here and taking time out of your day to learn a little bit about what we expect. So, for the goals for today, we're going to go over 3 things. We're going to go over the basics of intramural sports, we're going to go over soccer rules, and then we're going to go over sportsmanship. Does that sound good with everybody? Good. So, intramural basics. So, y'all's responsibilities. The responsibilities of y'all as a captain is to invite and confirm players on your team. You'll do so using the Fusion Play app. You'll ensure everyone on your team is eligible. There have been 3 reasons players have not been eligible. That's either they didn't sign their waiver, they don't have emergency contact, or somehow in Fusion it doesn't have their gender like as anything. It's just a blank space. If y'all run into the last one, send me an email with their M number and tell me they're having a gender issue, and I can resolve it in the office. Please don't wait till you're out at the fields, because once you're out at the fields, there's nothing they can do. And they can't play if they don't have that fitness. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. We ask y'all to understand the IM policies and sports rules, as it's important for someone on the team too, so they can communicate with the rest of the team while we're doing what we're doing out there. Does that make sense? And we ask y'all to ensure enough players will be present at game time and communicate if not, just to kind of be respectful for our time and our officials' time who are out there every night. Just make sure you're going to have enough players to play that night, and if not, just give me a ring, let me know, send me an email. You just got to communicate in some form or fashion that they're not going to, okay? And then we ask all to make sure all your players are acting in a sportsmanlike manner. If we have an issue with one of your players acting in an unsportsmanlike manner, that falls on them, but it also falls on you as a captain, as it's your responsibility to kind of keep them in check. I know we're asking a lot of y'all to keep another peer in check with acting as an adult, but I know sometimes they can get out of hand, and it's just not fair to just leave it up to our officials. We ask y'all kind of to communicate why they need to be acting in a sportsmanlike manner, and whenever they start getting heated, to calm them down. So if we have any issues with that, we'll probably talk with the person who had the issue, probably also have a chat with y'all about what happened. Is that understanding for everybody? Okay. And then also y'all's responsibility as a captain, since you're the person in charge of the team, is to pay any forfeit fees that come up. Does everybody understand y'all's responsibilities?
Yes. Forfeit for any reason?
What's a forfeit? Okay, we'll go over that here in a minute. But it's basically if you just like don't call or don't show up, there's a $40 fee, as we have to pay our officials, and it's also about respecting their time. So I get this question a lot, and I got a bunch of interviews. Let's say, what is intramural sports to y'all? Does anybody have an answer?
I mean, for me and my sorority, it's just a fun way for us all to go out there and enjoy some time together and be active.
Yeah. I told all the interviewers I was talking to that it's just a safe place for people to go and relax and hang out with their friends and play sports. I know a lot of people will focus on the fact that we're under a department called competitive sports. We're okay with y'all being competitive, but winning comes second to everything else. This is not the World Cup. Y'all aren't Messi out there. I hate to break it to y'all, y'all ain't getting scholarships from here. And I say that respectfully. Y'all will probably kill me in soccer, but you just ain't getting scholarships out here. Well, I say it's just an opportunity to get y'all involved with other people on campus, as this campus can be a lonely place. So it's for y'all to go out there, make friends that may last a lifetime. So we just ask y'all to go out there, make friends, have fun, enjoy yourselves, and just enjoy yourselves, but not at the expense of others, if that makes sense. Does everybody understand what the purpose of our department is now? Thank y'all. All right, so who can play on y'all's teams? That's the question I get asked a lot. Right here. Undergraduates and graduate students at MTSU can play intramural sports. MTSU faculty staff can also play intramural sports. Varsity players and club sports athletes are restricted in their related sports. If y'all do have any D1 soccer players on your team, they're not allowed to play. Because they're not allowed to play the sport that they are Division I in. Does that make sense? So if you have any girls from the women's soccer team, they're not going to be allowed to play. So if you have club sport athletes, you're allowed to have 2 of them on your team, and that is the max.
Related to soccer, because we don't have club soccer.
Oh yeah, men's club soccer, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't relate to y'all. But, and free agents, we'll probably ask later for y'all to put if you all need free agents or not on the form we'll have. But if there are any free agents in the league that are looking for a team and everything, y'all can reach out to me and be like, hey, we're kind of short on players, we're kind of getting nervous, do you have any free agents? And I'll let them know that there's a team looking, and I'll put you in contact with them if that makes sense. Okay, how's everybody been doing about filling out your roster so far? Was that looking good? Okay. Well, I know we have, I want to say 1 or 2 free agents, so just in case they're looking for a team, I might email some of y'all or call some of y'all and be like, hey, someone's looking for a team, would y'all mind having them? And just remember, like, it's a good way to get people involved, and even though you might not know them at first, you might become best friends with them. Guests, people with guest memberships, people who have no affiliation to this university other than having a membership to the rec center. They are not allowed to play. But I say this is for students and this is for faculty and staff. This is not for someone who doesn't go here at all. Does that understand? Do y'all understand that? I say we are a student or a student-based program, and we allow faculty and staff to play as well, but we don't allow outside guests. Leagues. Everyone can play 1 single gender team and 1 co-rec league. So, say you have a sorority team. Y'all can play on a co-rec team, and y'all can play on your sorority team. And, I mean, I guess that doesn't, yeah, so you can do that. For guys, if you have a frat league, a men's league, and a co-rec league, you can only play in a frat or men. You can't play in a frat and a men at the same time. You're only allowed to be in 1 single gender league. Does that make sense? Did I explain that clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. So game time. It has been brought to my attention this is said a lot in intramural sports apparently. I'm new to the organization or new to the business, so game time is forfeit time. So if you don't have enough out there at game time, the other team can give you like a 5-minute grace period, but they are not made to. If you don't have your guys out there checked in at 6 p.m. and your game time is 6 p.m., the other team can say, no, we're just going to take the forfeit. Please get there like 30 minutes early, 15 minutes early. I'd say get there 30 to 45 minutes early just because, let's face it, we're not all that athletic anymore. I know I'm not. I tried to play flag football last year, about tore something. But I say we all need to get stretched in too, because I don't want to have a bunch of injury reports on my desk. So get out there, run a couple laps, get stretched, and then, get checked in before game time. So everyone must be on the team roster in Fusion Play before they can play. Try to avoid having players added game time and game aside. The reason we say this is because there's a lot of issues we cannot solve out at the fields, such as
Alright, so I just tried to add my friend, and the website wouldn't take his pass at all. It just, he paid for it, it wouldn't go through.
it wouldn't go through. Did it say he was missing a pass?
Yeah, he tried to pay for the pass twice, and it just wouldn't go through. I sat down with him and saw him do it.
Okay, well, I'll just talk about that after.
Okay,
That happens on a very rare occasion.
okay.
What we face a lot, though, is the gender issue. We cannot solve the gender issue out at the fields. Now, I've named it that because it just doesn't have a gender, and I don't know how that happens. But they'll email me, and a lot of captains will just say, hey, I'm having the gender issue happen. Can you solve it? You send me their name, their number, and I go in and I manually put the preferred gender that y'all are asking me to put them so they can play in the preferred league. But we cannot solve that out at the field. So if y'all are waiting to get out to the field and then y'all run into that issue, they're not going to be able to play that night because that's something I have to solve in my office. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand why we need to have it like a day in advance? Okay. I like to say try to get them on the team as soon as possible. I like it 24 hours before the game is ideal, just that way I have time to answer the email and everything. But just don't be doing it out at the fields at game time. Also because our Wi-Fi or our service out there is awful. It has been awful for years and it runs into a bunch of issues loading stuff and everything else, and then you're just getting frustrated, and then you might take it out on the official or the assistant, and we just don't want that. So, how do you check in? I've talked about this, talked about checking in, but you're gonna need your MTSU ID. Does everybody know what the MTSU ID looks like? Pull mine out. Like I said, I've seen one dude who was like burnt to a crisp. It was weird. Or you can use the Get Mobile app. That's what the app looks like. You'll go to the App Store, type in Get Mobile app. It'll pop up that little black box with the Get in the middle of it. Get the Get Mobile app. Because if you forget your MTSU ID, I lost mine for like a month. The Get Mobile app will help you out, and you can be able to sign in that way. So, defaults and forfeits. You had a question about defaults and forfeits earlier. If your team doesn't have enough players to play that day, let us know about 3:30. Because 3:30 is about the time we'll be leaving the office. We stay till about 3:30, just looking at our email or looking at the phone, expecting a phone call. After 3:30, I like to be home and be eating dinner and getting in bed soon. So if your team doesn't have enough players, please let us know by 3:30, the day of your game. If you do that, it'll be a default. The default doesn't have a fee that comes with it. The default also means you lose the game and you get a 7 sportsmanship rating. That's a lot better than a forfeit, which will get you a 3 sportsmanship rating and come with a fee. So if you know ahead of time, call me and be like, hey Tyler, we're not going to have enough men to play tonight. Because that also respects the other team's time, instead of getting them all out there, my officials all out there, and then y'all just not showing up, and we're like, where's the Krusty Crushers, or where's the Krusty Krab, or anyone else? I just like those names. But, so 2 defaults equal a forfeit. So if you default twice in a season, I'll say, we will forfeit you, and that is when we'll have the fee and everything else. Does that make sense? So we're okay if y'all like call us once, it's like, hey, we're not gonna show everything else. We're very understanding. We're all college students, we all have busy schedules. If you do it twice and it's looking like it's a habit, we'll have to charge you the forfeit fee and have that sportsmanship lowered. So, if you let us know after 3:30, I'm probably already headed home. Or if you just don't let us at all and we don't see, or you didn't contact us before 3:30, or you just decide that you don't like me and you don't want to contact me, I understand, but it will be a forfeit. And if you forfeit, it's also a loss, but you get a 3.0 sportsmanship rating. And the sportsmanship rating is out of 10. You have to have an average of 7, so that's hard to recover. And it'll be a $40 fine. 2 forfeits will get you removed from the league. If we understand if you default, but if you forfeit twice, it's disrespectful of our time, disrespectful of the other team's times. It's okay if you're defaulting twice, it'll just equal 1 forfeit. But if you just no call, no show, the first time we'll be like, okay, maybe something happened, like we're gonna fine them, we're gonna give them the little sportsmanship and the loss. But if you do it twice, then we're just gonna be like, okay, we're just gonna remove them from the league. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so what do we play? The games are at the IM fields on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. This is where we are, right about there. So if you come in the front, you'll go down this road, past Walmart. Yeah, Walmart. You'll go down that road and it leads you straight up to the IM fields. We play on these fields right here for soccer. If you live in the sorority or fraternity houses right here, y'all should be able to see the fields. So if y'all come in through here, it's right here. You can come to this gravel lot. You can come in through that gate. If you park somewhere in here, you can come through that gate. If you're coming here, just come through that gate. Does everybody know where we play? I think I could open up a window or something, we could look out there, but I don't know if I crowd everyone around. Oh, it's that way. My bad. I'm directionally challenged, okay? I'll say it's out that way. As you can tell, it may look like we're off campus, but we are still on campus. This is still all campus. No, I think these are still on campus, but yeah, that's all still campus. So we still go by campus policies. We can't have drinking out there, guys. We can't have drugs out there. We can't have vape. Vape's still a drug. It's still bad for you, and the school just does not permit it. We cannot have that out there. I had to get on to, there's no telling how many people in the past couple seasons, hey, you're not breathing fire, like stop vaping out here. I don't know why there's smoke coming from you. No vaping, no smoking, no drinking out here. If you won't do it in front of your teacher, don't do it in front of us. If you're not going to sit in class with a six-pack and start drinking, don't do that at the fields. Or at least I hope you don't. I heard there is like a brewery class, so. All right, so soccer rules.
All right, I'm going to talk about some soccer rules. Not a ton of stuff we're going to go over in this section here. Mostly just stuff that is different than what you normally, how you normally play or you see on TV. So we play 7-on-7 or 8-on-8 for co-rec. 7-on-7 is our single gendered. You do have to have 4 on the field to start. So the 7-on-7, 8-on-8, that does include the goalies. So we're talking 1 goalie, 6 in the field for single gender, or for co-rec, 1 goalie, 7 in the field. And for co-rec, we do require certain gender ratios to be on the field at the same time. So this system right here, if you have 8 players, you have to play 4 and 4. Okay? So you can't have 5 guys and 3 girls play in a soccer match. So yeah, it's pretty much, these are the ones you can't have, the common ones that you can't have. And the only other thing about players is the goalies have to identify themselves, right? So they have to wear some different color shirt. We will have a few pennies that they can wear if they don't come with a different color shirt. But just gloves is not enough to identify. They have to have a different color shirt. Now they can wear gloves, that's fine, but they have to wear a different color shirt as well. We played 2 20-minute halves, which is a little bit different than in the past. So I think in the past we played 15-minute halves. So we're playing 20-minute halves now. A little bit longer of a match. But the clock just runs continuously. We don't do stoppage time in intramural soccer. We don't have timeouts in soccer, and there's no overtime in the regular season. In the playoffs, the tournament play, we will do that, and we will email you out what that process will be like if we get to that point. We do have a couple mercy rules. We say 10 at 10 or 5 at 5, which just means if there's a 10-goal differential with 10 minutes left to go in the second half, or a 5-goal differential with 5 minutes left to go in the second half, then that will be the game, and we'll end at that point. And the officials, obviously, they'll be keeping that, and they'll whistle that if it's done. Equipment, our equipment policies is all about safety, right? It's all about being safe out there, so we're pretty strict on it. We say no earrings, necklaces, wristbands, nose piercings, no like hard-built hats, or no like pins in your hair, anything like that. All that stuff has to come off. And again, it's just for safety. Soccer's a physical sport. We know that you're going to be bumping into each other. People are going to be falling over all the time. We want to keep you safe. We want to keep the other people safe, and we want to keep your equipment safe or intact as well. So our staff will be doing that. Please let your team know that. The only thing that they can wear is if they have like a medical alert bracelet or a medical alert necklace or something like that, they can wear that. Those things have to be taped down to your body. So those need to come prepared to do that. Just another piece here is metal cleats. Remember, like metal studs, right, in your soccer cleats or anything sharp. If there's like a sharp piece of plastic, if you got an old pair of cleats or something, and it's a piece of sharp, you won't be able to wear that. Do we have any questions about the equipment or the jewelry stuff? We don't require shin guards. Obviously, they are recommended just for more further safety. Okay, let's talk about substitutions. So we allow unlimited subs. There's not a limit how many people can sub on and off. We do want them to occur at midfield. At least the substitute, the person coming onto the pitch, needs to come on at midfield or around midfield. And they just have to tell the referee on their sideline, like, hey, I'm going to sub, and then the referee will do so at the appropriate time. They'll allow the sub at the appropriate time. Obviously, there are certain times, certain teams can sub and things like that. If you have questions about that, you're welcome to ask the referees about that. But you do have to wait to come onto the field until the referee tells you, like, you're good to come on, right? They'll wait, go and say, yeah, come on, something like that. Just make sure your players are waiting for that. The person coming off can come off anywhere. The person coming on has to go on in it. Make sense? Okay, cool. Slide tackles. So if you haven't played in our league before, we don't allow them. We do not allow slide tackles. Stay on your feet, is what I say. So anytime you go to the ground, we're telling our staff, that's not okay. That's not allowed. This includes goalies. This includes goalies coming forward or sideways. They are not allowed. They are not allowed to play on the ground. You have to play on your feet. Our leagues are designed for people who have never played soccer before. Okay? So we have to cater to those people. All right? So a slide tackle playing on the ground is extremely dangerous. Even if you've been doing it for 10 years of your life, the other person may not be. Okay, so it's very dangerous. It's all for safety. So please, please communicate this rule to your players. Stay on their feet. All right? Like I said, it does include goalies. We do have blue cards in soccer. So we give yellows, we give reds, we give blue cards. Blue cards are for slide tackle. So if we do have a slide tackle, you'll see an official, they'll pull out a blue card and they'll issue a blue card to that player. So here are some of the criteria about blue cards, or some of the kind of restrictions, guidelines on them. So if someone gets a blue card, you're going to lose 3 sportsmanship points immediately. Okay, so right away. 2 per person equals a yellow. And then if you have 3 for your team for that match, it's game over. Your team's forfeit. We're trying to take this pretty seriously. Okay? I know it can be difficult for players who are used to doing it, right? If you're just in the flow of the match and it happens, there's somewhat of a warning with the blue card. We don't want to go straight yellow right there. That's why we have the blue cards, because we do understand it can be difficult to change that habit. So that's why it's important for you all to communicate that. Any questions about slide tackle? Sweet, awesome. Alrighty, we don't play offside. We do 7-on-7 or 8-on-8. It's a shorter field, so we don't have 3 refs. We have 2 refs, so we don't really have ARs or anything like that, or flags. So we don't need it. Any questions about soccer rules? That's it. Turn it over to sportsmanship.
All right, so who's participated in our sports before here? Okay. How long have y'all been participating?
2 years.
2 years? I don't know if y'all have noticed it in the past 2 years. We've talked about it a lot. We've seen a trend in the wrong direction when it comes to sportsmanship. And we can't be happy with that. So we've told our officials that we need to be cracking down on sportsmanship this year because, like I said, the nature of intramural sports isn't to be competitive, it's to be having fun. Who's having fun when you're getting cussed and yelled at and basically told you're a bad human being all the time? I know our officials aren't having fun whenever they're being talked to in a rude manner. And I know y'all, as participants, when the other team's talking to y'all like that, you're not having fun. So we're taking sportsmanship very seriously this year. With that being said, why program exists? Intramural sports is designed to teach student participants accountability and commitment, showing up and being held accountable for their actions, communication, again, professionally, or not even professionally communicating with us, but communicating with us in a proper manner and tone, and sportsmanship. All these are used in everyday life. So we're helping develop that in y'all. We can't do that if y'all just ain't willing to be helped. So if y'all are out there constantly having sportsmanship issues and we say something to you and you just go off again, I'm sorry, but we're trying to help y'all. So I just hope y'all understand that that is what we were designed to teach y'all, and that is the purpose of us. So each team is rated on a sportsmanship scale after each game. It's a 0 to 10 scale. You start off with a 10 when you show up, and when you walk in through one of those 3 gates I showed y'all. And from there, it can go, well, from 10, it can go up. But throughout the night, it will go down, up, down, up. It's a roller coaster. It's kind of like everyone's emotions. It's a roller coaster. And then teams must have a 7.0 sportsmanship average at the end of the regular season to qualify for playoffs. When our staff is putting in what you deserve that night, that's something y'all have earned. So they don't take this into consideration. We tell them not to take in what y'all need into consideration.
What are the size of the goals?
The size of the goals?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Is it club size?
Yeah.
Is it like, oh, okay.
It's about all of these. I really don't know. I haven't been out there with the measuring tape. That's a great question, though.
Okay.
I know I still can't hit it. But each team is rated on this. We tell our staff not to be concerned with what y'all need. We tell them to give y'all what y'all earned. And yes, y'all can earn great sportsmanship points. Y'all can also earn bad sportsmanship ratings. But I hope y'all know at the end of the night, whatever they put in there, your team earned it themselves. It's not just them putting it in there. With that being said, y'all must have a 7.0 at the end of the regular season to qualify for playoffs. That's why forfeits, being a 3.0, hurts y'all so bad. If y'all no show, no call us, or just forfeit, it's going to be a 3.0. That's hard to get back to 7. Y'all got to fight awful hard to get a bunch of 10s and be on your best behavior. Which again, we don't want y'all to give up if you get a forfeit or 3.0. We want y'all to strive to be model citizens out there and get 10s every time, which I would love that. If we had 10s across the board throughout the season, oh man, I'd be so happy, but I'm also realistic. So, I was also going to say, I hope it doesn't happen, but if a game ends due to sportsmanship, y'all have just been that awful, our officials say, we can't do this anymore, we feel safety concerns for us or the other team, things are getting way too heated, we have to call this game due to sportsmanship. That will be a 0. I would like to say that's never happened, but we have had instances in the past where we've had to do that. We're not going to put our officials in any situation where they feel unsafe, or we ain't going to put any other team in a situation where they feel unsafe. So hopefully y'all are all model citizens out there and earn a 10 every time. But if y'all do get that bad and it is unreasonably bad and they decide to end it, it will be a 0. That's very hard to recover from, seeing how y'all have to have probably a lot of meetings with us about that, if that happens. So, learning sportsmanship. How do we behave during competition, guys? Monty, y'all just lost a heartbreaker. How do you take that going off the field?
You cry.
Well, I mean, if you choose to, I'll have it for you. I was about to say, do you yell at the other team and tell our officials it's their fault and everything else?
It depends.
Okay, we're gonna have a rough season.
You said it was a heartbreaker.
It was a heartbreaker, but that doesn't mean y'all take it out on the officials or the other team.
But if it's their fault, they deserve it. Obviously, I'm not going to do it here, but like if it's a heartbreaker, like the Champions League finals, the ref deserves it.
No, our refs never deserve.
No,
to be talked
not,
down
not
to.
here, but I'm saying like a heartbreaker, the Champions League final.
We're talking about our,
Oh, hair?
Our games.
Oh, well,
Our games.
oh, hair, I cheer up my team. Like
Yeah.
hair, I'm gonna cheer up my team.
Oh,
If it's hair, I'm cheering up my team. If it's the Champions League finals, I'm cussing out the ref.
I'm a ref at multiple levels, so I don't like being cussed regardless.
Okay, but that's Champions League finals, you getting it.
I'll never be in the Champions League finals, so.
Then I love you.
That's not my officials. My officials, you're always nice to. Whether you win, lose, you lose getting a ton of goals scored on, you lose by a last second goal, it's not the ref's fault.
That's okay.
I'm gonna say the refs are out there just to judge and call the game. At the end of the day, it's not your career, so I'm gonna say, let's just please remember that. I'm gonna say, we don't complain and blame others. We're out there to have a good time. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But never get on to my officials, or you will have to meet with me and Dan. If y'all do, too bad. And I will not be a happy camper if one of my officials is mad because somebody cussed them out. Okay, so we're here to help you work through those situations. So, yes,
I promise you I will not be cursing anyone out.
please don't.
I'm promising you that.
Okay, good. We're here to help you work through those issues,
I just need to.
but we need your help. I'm gonna say y'all have to be able to. Y'all have to be able to be what I used to call coachable, but you have to be able to learn. So if y'all do have a situation where y'all get heated or something, and me or Dan are out there at the side, we'll pull you aside, we're like, hey man, this isn't really how we should be acting or anything. If you just go off on us, we can't help you learn how to work through your emotions and learn how to work through being a good sport. And then we'll just have to punish you how we see fit. And really, y'all are the captains. Y'all are in charge out there of your team. Y'all need to be setting a good example for your teams and help someone when they're struggling with acting in sportsmanlike behavior. It really shouldn't be us pulling them to the side when we're out there. It should be you, the captain, pulling them to the side and be like, hey, we can't be acting like this out here. This is just for a good time and a fun time. You're ruining it for everyone right now. Something along those lines. Tell them like, hey, this isn't for winning. Like, we ain't out here to win a Champions League final. We ain't out here to win a World Cup. Like, we're out here to have fun. We're out here to play some soccer. Had a long day in class. Very stressed out. You get to go out there and have fun with your friends. That's a little bit of a relief. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so you understand we're out there to help y'all learn how to do this, but also we can't if y'all aren't willing to learn. Okay. Sportsmanship, a simple message. Be respectful at all times, including during play. Please do not fight the other team or our officials or one another. Don't fight in general out on the fields, okay? Inside those gates, do not fight. Do not harass. Do not taunt. Do not threaten. I understand if y'all scored a good goal, y'all want to celebrate. Don't taunt the other team. There's no place in our league for that. I'm going to say, there's no place to try to make someone feel lesser than. I'm going to say, our league is to make everyone feel involved and have fun. Not to make someone feel lesser than, and that's what you're doing when you're taunting. And we're not Fight Club. Do not be fighting out there. Do not be harassing people out at the fields. Do not threaten people or officials. I know y'all don't think as officials as people, but that's what they are at the end of the day. Do not threaten them, please. Does anybody have any questions about not fighting, not harassing, not taunting, or not threatening? Okay, please don't threaten them, or fight them, or harass them, or taunt them. Sportsmanship accountability. For unsporting acts, consent, etc., hard fouls, illegal equipment, we will give yellow cards. If you'll have illegal equipment, we will tell you before you're checking in, take that off. If we see it before the game of play, we will tell y'all, again, take that off. If y'all go out there and play with it, and we've already told y'all to take it off a couple times, we're going to give y'all a yellow card. Because at that point, you're kind of just being rude and blowing us off. And that's kind of just goes back to the whole being respectful of everyone there. Hard fouls, we will give yellow cards for it. I understand you are playing competitive, you are playing hard. But if it's a hard foul, it's going to get a yellow because we do not want things to escalate whatsoever. If we see unsporting acts like taunting or this here, we will give a yellow card. There are some things though, that go straight to a red card. 2 yellow cards, go to red cards. The whole fighting and everything, and harassing and stuff, we'll give you a yellow card for that, or a red card for that, my bad. I looked at the color and forgot which one it was. Let's say, if you get a red card, you will be suspended from intramural sports until you have an ejection meeting with me and Dan. Yes.
To avoid anything, does a player need to speak, does a captain need to speak directly to an official, or can just like any player talk to an official? Because like a lot of times, like now in professional, like captains have to be the one to speak.
I mean, I say as long as they're being respectful, anyone can talk to our officials. If they're being disrespectful, I tell our officials to tell them, we'll answer questions, but we will not be talked down to.
Okay.
And I say, and if they are being disrespectful, we will go get the captain, as you are in charge
Okay.
of your team. And we will hold you all accountable for their behavior.
Okay.
Again, if you get a red card, you're suspended from intramural sports. You meet with me and Dan, and then we figure out the case and the situation, and we see how long you'll be suspended from there on out. Everybody understand that? Is anybody in here planning on getting a red card this season? Like, please don't. I'm just kidding. No. Nobody's planning on getting a red card. We're going to get through the season red card free, hopefully. And this is just a friendly reminder for the whole fighting and harassing and everything. We do partner with student conduct. We do not like to get student conduct involved. If y'all decide to have Fight Club one night out there though, they will get involved. Does everybody understand that?
What's student conduct?
Student conduct, that's good that you don't know. That means you've never been there. They're the ones that get you in trouble on a university level.
Oh, I don't know.
Last year I sent 7 people from intramural sports.
I did not know student conduct existed until last year. We sent 7 people.
7 people last year.
Oh,
Trending in the wrong direction. We're
Yeah.
changing that this year.
Sportsmanship accountability. We love when fans come out there. We love the atmosphere. We love them cheering on their friends and everything else. It creates an awesome experience. But fans affect your sportsmanship rating and cause a lot of issues. As the captain, we ask God to keep your fans in check. If you're for fraternity or sorority, please keep your brothers and sisters out there in check. If it's your friends just coming to watch your game, or girlfriends, please keep them in check. They're still held to a high standard. They can't be out there yelling at our officials. Just because your girlfriend feels like you got fouled, please do not be cussing my officials. She will be ejected too. That's what I'll say. Fans, I joke about it, it's a serious issue. Fans out there have caused a lot of tension between teams. Fans have caused a lot of teams to miss the playoffs because they acted in a disrespectful manner and they caused issues and their team wound up not making the playoffs. And the captain comes up to us and is like, well, why didn't we make the playoffs? Why did we get this sportsmanship rating when everybody on the field was good? And we're like, we didn't keep your fans in check and they were just awful all throughout the night in our officials' ear, telling them a bunch of bad things and everything else. And there's just no place in our league for that. So if your fans are coming out there, friends are coming out there to watch you, support you, mom and dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, grandma and papa, tell them, hey, y'all gotta keep it in check. Y'all affect our sportsmanship. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I also like to put this. Clean up your benches, please. This will affect your sportsmanship too. If you leave me water bottles amongst water bottles on your benches and you just don't pick up after yourself, we will drop your sportsmanship. Depending how late I had to stay that night and how mad I am, you may get an email or call. Because I also like being in bed in time, but sometimes I'm out there and I like cleaning up after, like I said, I don't like having to clean up after y'all. So if y'all bring the Gatorade bottle and y'all drink the Gatorade bottle, pick up the Gatorade bottle and throw it in the trash. Don't leave it for me. Also, if there's lawnmowers out there, they might hit it, and then that's a whole nother case. But, questions, the final thing. Counting over this. Anybody looking for free agents? You are?
I could use a few more females. I only have one more sub, or one sub for females right now.
Okay. If we have any females, I'll let you know. Anybody else looking for anybody? Okay, well, let's say, if y'all do start looking for people, just reach out to me. I might reach out to a couple of y'all and be like, hey, I got a couple of people, are y'all looking for filling the roster space or whatever. Schedules come out Friday. So Friday, we will be pumping out those schedules, correct?
Yeah.
You know about what time?
Depends on who comes, who doesn't come to these.
Yeah. So, schedules will come out Friday. We have a 4-week regular season. Playoffs start November 4th. Does that sound good for everybody? What's up, Monty?
Does the game start next week though?
Yes.
Yes.